welcome Must I Talk TV in conjunction, Shah Jama Studio. Today we're just gonna interview the great Akiem Mundell, you know, the youngest UK vice principal, you know. Nevertheless, to say he's black, so that is more important to us, you know. Yeah, so yeah. So Winston.
I'm Winston Jones.
Yeah.
CEO of Shah Drama.
Yeah.
And this is the great Akeem.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Akeem. Yeah.
so Akeem, can we just
Curtis and introduce Scarcha. Yeah, so yeah.
And before we start, once again, I'm always going to say this.
Yeah.
Please go to Masai TV.
Yeah.
Don't just watch it and switch off.
Yeah.
Like, share,
And
and subscribe.
Yeah.
Let's try and get Masai TV to 20k.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, help us do it.
Yeah, man, very important. Thank you, man. Yeah. Yes, Hakeem. So yes, Hakeem. So tell us about yourself, Hakeem. Introduction.
Yeah, so first I'm just going to say thank you very much, guys, for inviting me down. It's nice to be around the table with you guys. I know multiple of you from the local community as well.
Yeah.
I know everyone around the table is doing great things too, so it's nice to be here to collaborate. So my name's Akeem Mundell. I'm from Wally Range. The side of Wally Range that was my side, so don't get it twisted. It's now Wally Range. It wasn't back then, that's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
And I'd say, I think the easiest way to just introduce myself is community activist. I think, despite the career and stuff, when anyone always says, oh, what do you do? I just say community activist because that's what I'm all about, just about creating opportunities for young people and being instrumental within the local community. So
Yes. So what was it like growing up around the local community as a young?
I'd say so growing up around the local community. So I was in between both Old Trafford and Moss Side. I grew up mainly with my grandparents and with my family, my aunts and uncles. So mum's side was always Old Trafford, and then basically we lived in Moss Side. So growing up, I've had fantastic experiences within the local community. I'd say I grew up in a time where, when I was a teen, I always focused on 2007. So the reason why is because that was the year that I would say I learned quite a lot, and that was the year that really truly changed me. 2007, that was when I lost a close friend of mine due to gun crime. So we were in school. I was, I think, about 13 at the time. Within that year as well, that's when I'd say in South Manchester, the gun and knife crime rate was pretty high. Within those few years, it was constantly, oh, this person's been killed, that person's been killed. Either if it was a friend, it was a relative, or it was someone who was close to someone around me. So I'd say that's the year that I always make sure that I speak about, because that was the year that made me realise that, okay, now's the time to focus, now's the time to go out there and try and create change. Growing up in the local community has been, it's been an honour, because I've had the opportunity to meet amazing people, but I've also learned a lot as well. And I'm glad, I'd always say I'm glad and I'm proud to say that I'm a Mancunian, because the experiences I've had have contributed to making me the person I am today.
So how? Oh, sorry, Winston.
So as a young black person growing up in and around Moss Side, Old Trafford, who did you look up to? Who were your role models?
I'd say my role models were definitely my parents and my grandma. The reason why is because I've just seen them constantly just work hard, and despite what they've had to experience and go through, they've just always remained positive, and they've always ensured that their children and the family were always looked after, I should say. In addition to that, I'd say I've had the honour of having great mentors. When I was growing up in school, my mum and dad were just always working, which isn't a negative. Obviously, they were always working to try and make sure that, let's say, me and my siblings always were able to get what we wanted. So that meant that I spent quite a lot of my time growing up in youth clubs. So, for example, in the evening, after school, it would always be going straight home, taking the uniform off, getting changed, going straight to youth club. So my local youth clubs were Moss Side Adventure Playground, and that place just absolutely just kept me off the street. And another youth organisation was it was Salt Shaker. I don't know if anyone remembers Salt Shaker. That was like on the Pepper Hill Estate. So those were the two youth clubs where I spent a lot of time. And I had just great mentors who always guided me and made sure that I was on the right path. So I do have to give them a shout out. Like one was called Neil Eubanks, Kershaw and Sonia. They were two sisters. They were at Moss Side Adventure Playground and they were amazing. I also have to give a shout out to Raymond Bell and Arinma Bell as well, because they had Salt Shaker. And at the time, Salt Shaker wasn't a registered organisation. What it was is there was an empty building and we just always used to hang around there outside playing basketball and stuff. And they just basically got in touch with the council, managed to get the keys for this building, and then just opened it up each day for us. And there weren't much there. It was literally just a building and a pool table. So there weren't sessions or anything, but it was just, they gave us a base to hang around. They gave us a base to meet up each day, to talk rubbish, to just spend time with each other as a friendship group. But we're in a safe environment. So I always make sure that even when I see these guys now, whenever they're doing their projects or whenever they're doing anything, I make sure that I go and support, I volunteer, and I try and get involved as well, because they created, you know, a safe haven for us growing up in the area at that time.
Akeem, Akeem Mundell, I've been hearing your name for many, many years. Yeah?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's great.
You know the title that I first heard your name was Akeem the Ambassador. Mundell. Can you tell me about how you got that title, Ambassador?
Yeah, definitely. It makes me laugh when I hear that name, because even up to now, like I'll be in town and someone says Ambassador, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm 28 now. I'm not 13 no more. Do you know what I mean? But I guess it's a positive, to be fair. But if I'm honest, so where that name came from, so when I was growing up, it was in high school. I had cousins who were in the music industry. And I blame Silver for that as well, because at the time he was obviously always playing out in town, and it was like I always just wanted to be in the clubs. So at the age of 13, I'd be wearing a granddad shirt trying to get in. And Silver would give me the CD pouches and he'd be like, bring them, and then, you know, make you look a bit older. So I used to walk behind him in the clubs, trying to get in the clubs at the age of 13. But it was a great experience. So within that time, I had a lot of friends who were saying, oh, Akeem, you know, we want to experience the clubbing life as well. So I was like, how can I do this? So at the time, I came up with the idea of under 18 events. So I thought, okay, you know, I've got a lot of friends, a lot of young people that they like music, they want to come together, they want to have a good time, and, you know, they want to party. So how can I make that, or how can I create that opportunity for them to be able to do that? So I remember just writing a proposal to Manchester City Council at the time. And this was shortly after Jesse died, to be fair. So mum and dad came home, and I remember this, came home with a laptop, and I was like, wow, at that time it was like we had one computer in the household, and there was like 8 of us always just trying to use this one computer. So they came home with a laptop. Mum created an email address for me and said, you know what, she said, I'm hearing a lot of ideas that you've got. She said, what you need to start doing is you need to start pulling it down on paper, and you need to start trying to connect with people. So she came up with a few contacts. She said, put your ideas down and email that person. Like, no problem. Wrote a proposal to do under 18 events, and I remember being invited to a meeting with Greater Manchester Police and Manchester City Council. And at that time, I was a bit sceptical. You know, we were young, and unfortunately, you know, whilst when we were young, we really didn't have fantastic experiences with the police. So I was a bit sceptical about that. But anyway, I'd done it, went to the meeting with them, and I said, look, us young people, we feel bored. When it's our school holidays, we've not got much to do. We want to come together, we want to have an experience to socialise and have a good time. So I said, I've got an idea for every school holiday to deliver under 18 events. And I remember they came together and they said, right, we're going to give you £5,000 to run an under 18 event every school holiday this year. So the first one, I remember it was ran in August, and it was Marvin Silver and Robin, who's known as obviously Sajid B. They were entertainers for the event, and the event was sold out. It was the first event that I'd done. There was 500 young people in attendance. It was absolutely amazing. No trouble. The police were there, the council were there. And at that time, Sajid then said, you know what, Akeem, you've put this together. I'm going to call you the ambassador. And since that, the council then jumped on it,
Yeah.
and then they were like, you know what, Akeem, we're going to give you the title of the ambassador. So then there was a bit of rival there, because Saji was like, I gave him the name. They were like, we gave him the name. And I'm looking at them, why are we arguing about who gave him the name? So this is me now, confirmed, because I know he's going to watch
Who
this.
give you the name?
Saji gave me the name, the ambassador,
And the council
at
confirmed
this
it.
under 18s event.
You still got it.
And months later, the council
To
then
confirm
released
it. Yeah.
a newspaper article calling me the ambassador of my side.
Yeah.
That's where the title came from. But to be fair, you know, jokes aside, carrying on from that, you know, the council then created a program which was then called an ambassador program, where they then they formed together a group of ambassadors where there was an ambassador representative for each area.
Okay.
And that's why the ambassador program is now there today. So for my side is a few, so it's myself, a part of the program is obviously Arin Mabel, Kemoy, Walker as well. And for each area there's now a group of ambassadors for the area. But that's where the name came from.
And are you still involved?
I'm still involved, yes, I'm still involved in the program. I still you know, hold the title up to today. But I think that this, I know we're going to go into more detail about this, but you know, the way I look at it is, I'm very grateful to have had those opportunities and to have those experiences from the age of 13 growing up. But I think sometimes it's good for us to pass that baton on and to give the younger generation the opportunity to also have those experiences as well. So now, you know, getting towards that age of 30, getting old. I think it's great to give the younger generation the same opportunities that we had, because I think sometimes it's not, we need to stop holding on to things, you know, like we've had that opportunity, we've held those titles, but let's give the younger generation the opportunity to come up as well and to have those experiences as well. So now I think it's time to let younger people come forward and to experience the ambassador program the same way that we did.
So oh, sorry.
It's just a quick one. It's just off the top, this one. So I just thinking it came because you're someone that's been through like a lot of stages, a lot of change, and a lot of situations. So what I was thinking was what's like the sort of most difficult situation you've sort of been in that you've actually overcome, where you thought to yourself, do you know what, I didn't think I'd be able to get through that.
I think the first situation would be obviously losing a friend to gun crime at that time. And when you are intimate within that friendship group, I kind of, you know, it was a sticky situation of not knowing what road I was then going to go down. So obviously, you know, it's no secret that there was a lot of anger between the friendship group at that time. We lost a friend who was, you know, totally innocent and wasn't involved in any form of negativity. And I think at that stage, it could have easily have gone different for me. It was either, you know, do I go down that path of gaining or trying to get revenge for what had happened, or do I try and flip it on the other side and make a positive out of it and try and, you know, create opportunities so that we don't lose any more young people. So at that time, it was actually, you know, picking. Do I go down route A or do I go down route B? And I think it was down to the fact of having strict parents, because you know, you guys, you know my dad. It's 20 years in the army, ex-army man. You know what that means. My household was like prison for me. Oh my goodness! So straight away, my dad told me what route I was gonna go down. It was like, look, I hope you don't think that you're gonna go down that. This is what you're gonna do. So I was like, right, okay. So kind of, you know, that was the influence for me. I was like, right, I need to flip this on the opposite side and I need to try and create a change, because that was a touching situation where it was like, right, dear me, hadn't lost a friend before, and that was like, right, okay, I need to go out there and I need to try and flip this on the positive. So I'd say that was the first one. And the second one was
so like a negative to positive.
You know, like using that experience and trying to create a positive from it. And to be honest, if it wasn't for having that experience at that time, I don't think I would have been as instrumental as I have been within the community, because I reference that all the time and I look back and I think, right, okay, we need to make sure that the young people know that there's other avenues, do you know what I mean? There's opportunities there. We need to try and keep them grounded, create opportunities for them to not be, spend as much time on the streets and stuff. So I flipped that on the positive side. But a second one as well was because I went into education very young. So, you know, when I left high school at the age of 16, and rather than going straight into college, I didn't. So my old primary school got in touch with me and basically said, look, Akeem, you're instrumental within the community. What we want to do, we want to offer you a job as a teaching assistant. What we'll do is we'll train you up, we'll pay for you to do your education on the job. So at that time, I took that route and I went straight into employment at the age of 16. And that was very difficult for me because being young, growing up within a local community, still kind of being a bit childish as well, because at that time, you know, I still was hanging around with friends who, some, you know, some were doing great things, some wasn't doing great things.
I don't cut you, but how many subjects did you leave school with at the time?
So at the time, how many qualifications?
Yeah.
So funny enough, I left with all my qualifications in secondary school in year 11, but that was down to knuckling down in year 11, if you get where I'm coming from. Because throughout high school, I definitely wasn't grounded. I definitely wasn't interested in education during high school, and that was because you know, obviously that situation, losing a friend kind of thing, my head kind of fell off at that point, and education wasn't really interested. But when I got into year 11, I thought, whoa, okay, you know, you hit that light bulb moment, don't you, where it's like, okay, this is the final year of secondary school. I had people around me, mentors around me who were very supportive and who supported me throughout that journey. But still, you know, the education path wasn't quite something that I was quite interested in.
Which school did you go to?
I went to Manchester Academy,
Right,
and even that was kind of I remember, as you do, when you leave primary school, everyone kind of wants to go to schools like Trinity.
Juicy.
And that was the, you know what I mean, everyone's like, yeah, we want to go to Trinity High School. Didn't happen. We all got shipped to Academy, which was Juicy at the time. So it was Juicy, then it moved to Academy. And I remember, I think I cried for the whole summer. I cried for the whole summer because I was like, I can't believe I'm going Juicy. Because obviously, you know, you hear things, don't you? And I heard all the stories about the school. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, this, my life's over kind of thing. But it wasn't, because we left there with all our qualifications. And that's how it shows that you don't always listen to the story that's out there, because it's down on you as a person. You can go into an establishment that's broken, and as long as you focus and you put your mind to it, you can achieve. And towards the end, that's what I ended up doing.
So apart from sorry Winston, so apart from like you've just explained like about the teacher calling you and giving you the apprenticeship,
Yeah.
And then paying you, was there anyone who inspires you to become a teacher beforehand? What
Yeah.
you thought about it?
I'd say so. When I took that opportunity, my plan definitely wasn't to stay in teaching, and my plan wasn't even to become a teacher. It was just, I saw it as it was a fantastic offer. I thought, this is the opportunity now to knuckle down and to make something of my life. And I'd say, rather than it being someone that had inspired me to become a teacher, I think it was the fact of going into education and realizing that there were educators within the system that looked like us, if you get me. I didn't feel that there was representation within the education system that was needed. Because often, you know, we had teachers that were travelling from other areas. They weren't from our community. They travelled into the area to work. And I felt like, you know, at that time, they didn't understand us, if you get where I'm
And they
coming
didn't
from.
look like you.
And they didn't look like us. We didn't see much representation. So it was more that, going into education and looking around and thinking, oh my gosh, these people are travelling in from Cheshire, they're travelling in from other areas, they don't know the area, they don't know what we have to face on a daily basis. That was what inspired me to go into education, because I thought there's a lot of, you know, young black males who need a black male representation. Many of them, it's not everyone that has a father within the home. It's not everyone that has a positive male role model within the home. So it was more that had inspired me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to stick with this, and I'm going to try and climb, and I'm going to try and aim high within the education system. So it was more, that was the driving force behind me becoming a teacher and then climbing into leadership.
So you speak about your home life being regimental. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, so I had siblings, so 3 brothers and 1 sister. I was the baby, and I think that was also a lot of pressure as well, because you know they're a lot older than me. I'm younger, but growing up when you've got older siblings who, to be fair, they're all inspiring, they're all doing fantastic things. That was the pressure, because I'd always hear my dad, on the street boasting, oh yeah, my daughter's this, my son's this. And these times I'm in school,
That pressure,
just wanting to party, and I was like, oh my gosh, right, these guys just keep picking up my siblings. That was the pressure, because it was like, I then didn't want to be the one who didn't live up to the rest of the black sheep. So I was just always like, right, okay, I'm always hearing, my son's a drama teacher, lives in Australia. Okay. My daughter's an accountant. Okay. Oh, what does the youngest do? He's in school. And they're looking at me, and it's like, oh, you want to do his party? I'm like, oh man. So that was kind of I was like, right, I need to do something good, because my siblings are doing great things. And I'd say, even though they were a lot older than me, I didn't quite have a good relationship with my siblings, because they just, it's great, they just focus, as you do, you grow older, you focus on your own life kind of thing. But knowing that they were always grounded and they were always doing great things, that had inspired me to also want to do the same, just due to not wanting to be the child that wasn't focused kind of thing. But yeah, that's that.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, so I just imagine that so many people look up to you for many, many different reasons, for hope, good role model, just like a whole list of different things, yeah? How are you managing that? Like, people perhaps even have like high expectations of you. Do you feel pressured by that, or is it just, you can just go with that within your stride?
I do feel like, so I always say that I'm a people's person. So I love being around people, and I just love helping people. People always say, oh, what do you do in your spare time? And when I tell them, they're like, well, that's not what you do for you in your spare time. And I say, but I just always want to try and, help individuals. So outside of work, obviously, as we know, I'm an educator, so that's Monday to Friday. On a weekend, I run like CV and job application workshops on a Saturday. I do them virtual and in person. That's absolutely, I don't get paid for it, I don't charge for it. I've had the opportunity of gaining funds for it. Like, the job centre's got in touch with me and said, look, can we tap in? Can we wrap into your service? Can we bring you in? We can fund it. And I'm saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want to use my skills to just help others. In the evenings, I run an online jobs organisation called Manchester Job Opportunities, where I advertise traineeships and job opportunities that are available within the community. That's also something that I don't charge for. It's something that I want to do. And it's just simply down to me wanting to help others. And I think it's important that if we know that we can help somebody, if we know that we've got the skills and we know that we've got the links, why not share that?
Exactly.
And this is what sometimes does bug me about our community, because it doesn't always happen. So due to me thinking that, I feel like we need to work together more. If you know that someone has an interest and you know that you've got a link there, why are we not putting that person on? Why are we not trying to connect that? So due to me always screaming about that, I can't scream about it and not do it myself. So I'm always thinking, okay, I need to show what I believe in. And I think that for me, it's always about, I know that I've got links with organizations, for example. I know that I know where to find information about opportunities. It's not everyone that is aware of that information. So why are we not trying to share that? Why are we not trying to put other people on? So that's the inspiration for me, just wanting to help others. And it is a lot of pressure at times, because sometimes it is like, oh gosh, I need some me time. But now I'm not afraid to take that time. So for example, now and then, every couple months, you'll see that I'll just shut off and I'll just disappear for a week in the school holidays. Self-well-being is important, and because I'm always around people and I'm always trying to help people, I do value and understand how important well-being is. But I just always want to help people.
But who supports you and who helps you? Because I've always said this in work industries, people that are like, taking out pressure in jobs and stuff, they sometimes don't really have the support or help. So like, do you have people that you're checking with regularly, or people just to make sure that you're fine? Because if you're helping everyone, then like, who's supporting you?
Absolutely. No, you're right. And to be fair, I'd say that I'm grateful to have a good friendship group, because that's my support network. So sometimes, for example, last week I had a friend who phoned me and was like, Akeem, how are you? I said, yeah, I'm good. It's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. It's like, right, I'm outside, get dressed. And I'm like, why? It's like, we're taking you out. So I've got a group of good friends around me who they understand how, they understand how instrumental I am. And I think it's more that, because I'm not gonna lie, I have gone through stages where sometimes there is a dip in my mental health. Do you get where I'm coming from? Where I'm like, whoa, you know, I feel like I'm doing too much. But I do feel like I've got a good support network around me now, a good group of friends, and also in terms of work as well. So throughout lockdown, that was hard. So because I was always a people's person, you know, trying to stay grounded in the house was difficult, and especially for us as educators, you know, we had to do the online learning, delivering classes via Zoom and Teams. It was a lot. But then I connected with quite a few individuals on Twitter, so I took to Twitter, and a few different young black males from around, you know, different areas in the UK. We connected, and we're sharing resources and just speaking about, right, how are you finding it? And then we created a group called Black Men Teach. So Black Men Teach, it's a group of us. It's about 5 individuals who, you know, we're all in education. We're all from different areas of England, and we connect. So once a month, we meet up in a different city, and we speak, and we just take time to, you know, to link and communicate. So that's an example of how I've been able to, you know, connect with other individuals and support one another.
So Akeem, so I know so we haven't got enough time in the day for really, because you sit here all day and talk about them.
Absolutely.
So check it. I have a couple of important questions, because basically, you are UK's youngest vice principal.
Assistant principal, not vice yet.
Well, assistant.
one day, let's talk it.
Assistant. I say, well, we're hoping big, innit? You know, so you know what I mean? Yeah, so assistant, but yeah. So basically, like I said, you're black. We can see that. So to me, that's a great achievement. You know, even if it was, the race is not an issue. So let's get that straight. You know what I mean? But we just have to shout, because basically we don't get these opportunities a lot. You know, to shine and to have people in position or spaces where you are. You know, so for that we have to say we're very grateful to have someone like you there, you know, to, you know what I mean, shine that light on the community, and to let other people, like you explained before, with your friends got killed or whatever the situation could have took for the worse, but you've, you know what I mean, and you've shown that it's possible. You know, there's a couple of people I've already interviewed that you says inspires you. There's a lady at the university who went to Bolton University. Could you give us a bit more about that lady and what part she plays in the role of?
Yeah, definitely. So so she's called Pat Norris. Absolutely fantastic, inspiring individual. She's now retired from University of Bolton, really. But the reason why is because when I decided that I wanted to go into further education, at that time, like I said, my path wasn't to go into education. I wanted to go into medicine.
Okay.
And at the time, you needed an A in maths to go into the medicine course. And I definitely didn't have the A. So this lady, I remember going into induction day, and I don't know why, but she just took to me and I took to her. And she sat me down and she said, look, she said, you need the A to do the medicine course. She said, but I've got a plan for you. I said, okay. She said, why don't you go onto childcare course for a year, redo your maths to get the A. Then, if you, let's say, if you get the A and you want to move on to the medicine course, you can. But I can assure you that I think you're gonna like childcare. And I thought, childcare? But I thought, you know what? No problem. I said, right, no problem. I'll do it. Went on to the childcare course and done it. Resat my maths, got the A, so I was able to move on to the medicine course. Thank you. But then she was right. I didn't want to go into the medicine course. I just wanted to stick with childcare. So at the end, she's like, right, what do you want to do? I said, I think this is for me. And she's like, I told you. And throughout that journey, this lady just stuck with me. Even when the course wasn't even hers to deliver, she absolutely encouraged me to continue going. So that went from doing a level 3 childcare and education course to then doing a foundation degree, graduating with that, going back doing a Bachelor of Arts, graduating with that,
Wow.
going back doing my Masters in Education,
Graduated.
graduated with that,
Yeah.
going back doing my PGC, graduated with that.
Wow.
But like I said, it wasn't ever a plan to even go university.
Yeah.
It was her.
Yeah.
So she absolutely just pushed me.
Yeah.
And she absolutely just encouraged me to just,
Just,
yeah, and she stuck with me with it.
And there was a next lady that set up the program. What's that lady called?
Ruth I Beg Boona.
I beg Boona.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
pronounce that name. So I'm glad I was reading it, but I just read over
That's
it.
was like,
I'm like, I book back, whatever. So I said, I let Akeem pronounce.
I stayed away from my
yeah,
question.
So I beg Boona, or a name, yeah. So she was someone who set I noticed she set a group up,
Yeah.
which then involved you, which then got you very involved. It was two groups really.
Yeah, yeah.
What was
It was Reclaim.
Reclaim?
And then
Yes.
Curtis, you remember that at the
Yeah.
time. You remember of the Reclaim project.
In the
Urbis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just where the gym used to be
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
top.
of
Yeah.
course.
I think that's when I first met you.
That's where you first met
That's
me.
one of my questions. Go on.
Yeah, Reclaim, and then what's
Absolutely, and
next?
Rekindle.
And Rekindle.
Yeah. So this woman, so she at the time, so she was a teacher at Warrior Range High School. Left teaching, went into Urbis. Urbis is now it's the new football museum. Yeah.
Okay.
So she went there as a learning manager, and at the time, 2007, when the gun and knife crime was high, she came up with this program to do Reclaim.
Okay.
At the time, the program was each school signed up to the program. They had to nominate 5 students to the program who they felt needed a bit of guidance to stay on the right path. So I remember receiving the invite. School said, Akeem, you're not in school next week. For the full week, you're going to Reclaim. And I remember meeting up with the rest of the lads saying, they got a cheek, who are they talking to?
Yeah.
Like, we can't come to school next week because we have to go to Reclaim. So we all said, let's go. And we all agreed, we said, look, if we don't like it on day one, we're boycotting the program. We're just gonna walk out. So that was the plan. So sat in there in the day one, seeing this woman, lovely black lady, talking about, look, you black men need to do this, need to do that, rah, rah. So I was like, okay. Anyway, the full week passed. The program was absolutely amazing. The program was inspiring. It gave us opportunities to just do great things. And it was down to Reclaim that had supported me to just stay on the right path and to be instrumental.
Can I ask you one last question? Can you tell us about your award? I read somewhere that you've been recognised.
Yeah.
Tell us about the award.
Yeah, so I think that they are 2 achievements that I'm definitely proud of. First one, the British Empire Medal.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats. And the Bolton.
The honorary
Award.
doctorate from Bolton
From Bolton
University.
University,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they were 2 that just were surprised, were shocked. So the British Empire Medal, got that from the Queen in 2017. And at the time when I received that, I thought it was just someone messing about. I thought it was a prank. So I just deleted the email at the time until they rang me and said, look, we want to recognise you. We want you to come up to Royal Garden Party to receive the award. Accepted it, and that was a great achievement. And then last year was the honorary doctorate that I got from University of Bolton, which once again was a surprise. But I'm just very grateful to have received those 2 recognitions. But it's definitely what I've been doing in the community. Definitely, it's not for self gain and not for the awards. All of that is it's great to achieve, but it's just a journey that I just want young people to be able to see that no matter where you live, no matter your experiences, you can still achieve greatness.
Well, you've got a couple more awards as well. You've got the Unsung Hero Awards, and you've got the Manchester Proud to Be Award. You've got loads of. Have you got space on it to put awards?
Absolutely.
I know the time is short, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 1 question for Scarcher, 1 for Curtis, and then I come back to Winston, and then I'll just give him a finishing question, and we're done. So just make it quick, please.
Okay,
Scarcher.
really quick one. So you yourself, you're like a message to everyone, yeah?
Yes.
A message of positivity and hope, etc. But do you have any particular message that you would like to leave out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, the message that I'd like to leave and which I pitch day in, day out to the young people is, is to not allow negative influences to influence you.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because, you know, it is hard growing up in South Manchester. Unfortunately, you know, especially if you live within an area where you have that M16 postcode, sometimes it can affect you and it can affect your opportunities. Sometimes you can have, let's say, people around you that may, you know, try and negatively influence you or try and get in the way of you climbing and achieving success. And I think it's important that, you know, young people know that, you know, it's important to not allow negative influences to get in the way of reaching your aim. And also to talk as well, because I was a young person growing up who didn't talk much in terms of, you know, if I was unsure about something, I wouldn't ask. If I wanted to know information, I wouldn't ask. It's important to speak, confide in someone that you trust, and to never feel like whatever you want to ask or whatever you want to know is a stupid question. You know, like, you know, take that time out to find out more and to just not allow anyone to get in the way of your shine.
Yes, Curtis.
Yeah, so so this one it's so that was similar. I just wanted to know, like, obviously you've travelled quite a bit, you know, there's definitely a longer road. How old are you?
28.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your dream end goal now? I know you said about like medics and stuff like that, medicines, but what's your end goal, like you sort of visioning?
I think my end goal is to become principal. I've always said that. Throughout Reclaim, they make you do like a mind map of where you see yourself in terms of your journey. And until then, I never thought about that. It was just always, you know, I just want to do good, I want to do my family proud, but I never thought in detail about what I want to do. And it's crazy because I said obviously I've been a teacher for quite some time now. And I said by 30, I want to become assistant principal. So I've managed to chop 2 years off and I've got that now, which is good. So next, I'm aiming for by 35. So I've got 7 years to work on myself, to get all the training I can, to liaise and communicate with people, to go and visit other schools. That's why I use LinkedIn, because via LinkedIn, you know, I've been able to speak to other inspiring principals around England who are basically, you know, referring me, read this book, read that, do this training course, do that. But by 35, my aim is to become principal of my own school. I was gonna say my other aim is to maybe create and, let's say, open up my own school. But that's why Ruth, she's opened up Rekindle, which is a supplementary school for young people within the local area, and I'm working close with her on that. So I'm one of the trustees. So that's partly I'm doing that with her, but my aim is to become principal, and that's simply just because I just want young people to know that just because your face may not fit, that doesn't mean nothing.
Still possible.
You know, when I started at my new school in January, the first thing a young person came up to me and said, "Sir, are you going to be our mentor?" But I said that I left it because they didn't know who I would. And I said, actually in some way I'm going to be doing mentoring with you. It's other than when I walked into that assembly hall and delivered the assembly and I introduced myself, you should have heard it. Everyone was like, I think I heard 2 kids say, "What? And he's got a gold tooth." And I just burst out laughing. And you could see the other members of staff looking at me as if I weren't supposed to laugh. But I'm gonna laugh. Gold tooth, still have my slits in my hair, still got my jewellery. But it doesn't matter.
And just let them know what school it is.
Let them
it's
know.
William Hughes Grammar. It's a proper,
Absolutely.
you know, up educational school. You know, it's not just like your next school is trying to be fixed. This is a school that's on a grade, because I know, because years ago I took my stepson there to take an entrance
Entry exam.
Exam to come to that school. So I know it used to be a private school. Yeah. So this is not you know what I mean. And to see someone like yourself where you are, like I said, it's highly rated, you know. But like I said, the time, Winston, last question.
No.
Oh, you good?
Yes.
All right. So my question to you now, you really answer everything, but your question, my last thing is, but how do you find your new job role as at the new school? How do you find it? How is it going?
So it's 4 weeks into the job role. I absolutely love the job. The young people, the students are amazing. The staff are great as well. But I think I've come into this role and I'm definitely trying to do it differently than others. If you get where I'm coming from. And a prime example of that is sometimes people will see a job role like assistant principal, SLT, as a job where you have to walk on your toes and, you know, make it known that that's you. I've not been doing that. So within the past week, I've been going into classes, I've been asking the teacher and stuff, Miss, do you want me to hand those sheets out? And they've been looking at me like, you don't have to, but I'm trying to do it differently.
Exactly.
You know,
You're not too big for your
I've been in there, I've been doing teaching assistant within the past week. I've been cleaning the dining room. There's been mess on the floor. I'm not leaving that for the cleaners to do. I'm asking the cleaning staff, where's the mop? And I'm doing it myself. And that's the reason why, is because I've gone into establishments where sometimes you see senior leadership teams as, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not doing that because I'm in management. That doesn't matter to me. You know, it literally doesn't matter. I've been coming in, giving chocolates to the reception staff. They're like, why? And I'm saying, because it's Friday. And I'm just trying to show that just because I'm now in that position, I'm not going to change me, and I'm not going to change the person I am. For example, you don't see me taking off my rings every day when I'm coming into school. You know what I mean? Like, it's about being you, and I feel that that's what makes me powerful within my position, and that's why I've been able to create the bond that I have with the young people within the past few weeks, because they see me as the person I am. I'm going above and beyond to support them. I'm going above and beyond to make sure I'm connecting with the parents. At the end of the day, I'm putting on my coat and I'm going out there and I'm walking at the front of school saying bye to the students. And they're things that we don't have to do within our job role, but I think it's important to be able to do that, to show that, you know, I'm different, and that's how I'm making sure that I'm trying to remain.
And there's one thing I do know as being a student is always a good teacher always leave that whatever it is memory with that kid, that student, always does. Because I can remember my teacher from being at school, you know, the good ones, the ones who was, you know what I mean, always there to help being in a certain situation, you know. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep being natural. And I think that's get you where you are, like you said, you know what I mean, and never change unless you're gonna change for better. You know what I mean?
You're on fire, mate. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So, man, respect, yeah, man, nice one, brother. The Most Side Talk TV, we're here today, Jama Suda, Akiem mundell. So today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, You see me? Oh.